interest in getting into human rights work was actually because of the work going on in East Timor. And I was out in a Women in Peace Building conference several years ago there, and I think it's a country that really does actually need a lot of attention. So it was a major driver for me entering this area of work.
I wanted to be in the armed forces because I had seen way too much television, and I had the Xena warrior princess and G.I. Jane and maybe even I think Tomb Raider. But this, I'm talking about when I was quite young. I wanted to be a fighter pilot, I wanted to be a helicopter pilot. So what deterred me was simply the fact that I have very bad eyesight.
I remember very well one female leader playing her cell phone for me, where she had recorded threats, death threats from Taliban towards her because she was standing up for her rights. And this was an everlasting impression for me, telling me that we need to support these kinds of activities and these people.
I had an experience maybe 1.5 years ago. I was already working for UN Women. I was engaged I was at a reception. It was a major development forum. And I started to talk to somebody from the Ministry of Planning of a conflict, of a country in conflict. High-level representative, we are engaging in good discussion, and I asked him about what he thinks about the issue and the challenge of sexual violence against women and how to address the issue. And then he looked at me and he said, well, I mean, to be honest, what can men do? Once they haven't seen a woman for a long time, they have a dire need and they can't do differently than to violate her. I think if we get this kind of answer, and this is the kind of ways to deal with the issue, we still have a long way to go.
I do still come across a lot of stereotypical behaviour. So it is often assumed that when you get off a plane as part of a delegation, that you're the note taker or the secretary or the person who's arranging it all, when in fact you're one of the senior people on the team. And that's the stereotypical behaviour I'm talking about. But it has a high giggle factor because it doesn't bother me.
I think there's a lot of value in connecting women around the world. ActionAid is an organisation that really believes in solidarity, and International Women's Day is a representation of solidarity. Women across the world connect and talk about the progress we've made on gender-based violence, the progress we've made on unpaid care work, on women smallholder farmers, on women's access to healthcare services. It puts a whole range of issues on the table for women to connect about globally.